Today we're doing a service and repairs on a Ford Ranger 2012 model. It's got the 3.2 litre diesel motor in it, and it's got the 6-speed, the 6R80 transmission in it. And the owner's complaining that it's a little bit clunky through the gear changes. A good idea is to check all these universal joints, the centre bearing mount, the rubber mounts on it, anything like that. Sometimes if they're worn, it will create like a clunkiness change through the gears, especially when you're going from park to reverse or reverse to drive or drive back to reverse. Another thing you can check are these diff rubbers as well. If they're worn, that can also cause a little bit of clunkiness through the gears. But on this one, you can see there's a fair bit of backlash through the transfer case. He's done over 200,000 kilometres, so the splines could be a little bit worn there on those shafts. Okay, we've got the pan off and you can see how much fine metal's on that magnet there. So you can imagine this muck has also circulated, become contaminated inside the solenoids. And also the filter, the little seal on the filter there just dropped out basically. Same deal, getting the connector sleeve there out. You press this little tang, pull it down, and then you can pull that sleeve out, the electrical plug, and lower this valve body if you ever need to replace any of these solenoids, which you probably would need to do, especially given the amount of rubbish on that magnet. Once those magnets become covered, all that fine metal is going to become attracted to these solenoids. And it's always a good idea to do a comparison check on these, make sure they look the same. When you're putting the pan back on, good idea to get all the bolts in before you tighten it up, and you tighten it in a cross zigzag pattern because of the size of the pan. You don't want to bend the pan or deform it, you want it to be bolted up nice and evenly. The filler is over here on this cap. They're a 19mm cap and there's a little filler tube in there. We're just going to fill the oil in, put about 4 litres in, and then we'll start it up and just check the oil level. It's very important not to overfill it or underfill it. Now there is a little bit of confusion filling these. If you have a look on the dipstick, there are actually 2 cross hatch marks there where my thumb is a little bit hard to see, but there'll be a section that's labelled A and B. The A mark needs to be, or the cold fluid level mark is 32 to 43, so around 40 degrees Celsius if you have it in that range. But ideally you want to get it up to 85 to 88 degrees, so about 80 or 90 degrees, and check it at that top level mark there. If you haven't, or if you've replaced the heat exchanger on the transmission, I believe you've got to get it up to over 95 degrees, I think 95 to 105 degrees, to actually purge any air that might be trapped in the system. So just be aware of that. And also, if you have a look, you can, if you're dipping it a few times, you can just slide that filler out of that little cap there. Fluid temperature has to be between 95 or 96 and 102 Celsius. Transmission fluid must be in the upper level of the dotted B. And there we go. Okay, and now we just start it up. Go through the gears. Foot hard on the brake, handbrake on. and back in the park. You can keep the motor running now. Make sure you be careful not to burn yourself here on the exhaust. And I've taken that plug off. And we just push that right down and pull it out. And we need a little bit more oil in there. Alright, I've added another litre in there. That's about where it should be. You can see it's just at the low mark there on the low cold mark. So I'll probably put another half a litre in. That's a total of, what's that, 5 litres, so probably 5.5 litres I'll put in there, and then we'll check it. And now I'm just going to take it for a run, get it up to operating temperature, and check the oil level at operating temperature. It's a little bit tricky to get the oil level right, especially to get the temperature happening if you haven't got a scan tool or a laser or digital thermometer. Make sure you don't overfill it or underfill it as per the manufacturer's instructions. If you do overfill it, you either have to suck a bit of oil out with a vacuum pump, or you'll need to disconnect one of the cooling lines on the heat exchanger there over here and let a bit of oil out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any questions, leave them in the comments there. Thank you for watching.